So I'll be happy to answer any questions about anything to do with our programs in general and about our biosciences or biology programs as well. And today, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk briefly about the structure of our department, the programs that we deliver at undergraduate level, and then tell you really, try to talk about the department, tell you why our department is amazing. Obviously, I'm biased, but I think it is an amazing department. And I think we deliver great programs here at our university. And finally, we'll talk about the potential for students to do in postgraduate studies, such as doing MRSs or what we call Masters by Research, and doing PhDs as well, as these are also possibilities for students who are international students as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen here. Please stop me if you can't see my screen. So can Linda and Walid, can you confirm that you can see my screen? All good. Thank you, Walid. Okay, so welcome to our biology department. So why studying at the biology department at Edgehill University? We believe that our department is great because it's student focused, okay? It is driven by focusing our efforts on supporting the students, okay? And we believe this is extremely important for international students as well, okay? It is a small, relatively small department in a big, very big university. It is focused on supporting the students, but also it involves expert researchers in their fields teaching the students and being in contact with them on a regular basis, okay? So students will be taught by experts in their respective disciplines, and this can be found obviously in our website, web page, obviously when you can see the staff profiles. So we are great teachers, but we are most importantly great researchers. So you will get all the up-to-date sort of like knowledge about any discipline that you study with us, okay? In our department, we also have a strong focus on developing the students' practical skills, because we believe that these skills are extremely important for the students to become employable in the future. Because at the end of the day, what the students want, they want a great degree, but they also want great jobs and well-paid jobs at the end of their degree. And this is what we focus our sort of like a learning journey with you guys, okay? So how do we do that? We structure our programs in a way where we can allow you to develop these skills and allow you to improve your CV on a regular basis from year 1 to year 2 to year 3, okay? When your CV is improved, you have a greater chance of getting a good job. Therefore, your employability will be better and better and better. And we believe that we do really well in this sort of like area, okay? I don't know if you have heard about the Guardian's ranking, the Guardian University Guide. This is sort of like a league table where institutions are ranked by subject, okay? So there's the university rankings, okay, that you can find everywhere on any website. But there are, most importantly, the rankings based on the subject disciplines, okay? And the Guardian University Guide is the most important and the most frequently trusted guide in terms of ranking subject disciplines within UK institutions, okay? So we rank top 21 in the full league in the UK amongst more than 130 universities. But most importantly, our biology department or biology programs rank second in the Northwest, okay? And the Northwest, we mean seven to eight universities here in the north of England, okay? So we tend to deliver excellent programs in our department, which are ranked very highly in the Northwest in the UK, okay? We also rank fourth in the region based on another ranking, that we refer to as the Good University Guide. And in 2024, based on 130 UK universities, we ranked fourth in the region. And we achieved, in 2023, we achieved the gold standard for our teaching quality. This is where the universities are ranked based on the teaching quality that they offer to the students. So we ranked gold, which is the highest ranking that universities can achieve in 2023. We also, in 2024, we ranked, or we achieved the prize of best student home, meaning that our campus, our facilities are excellent, very comfortable, that allow the students to settle in. So our campus also has been voted a couple of times in the last 10-15 years as the best campus university campus in the UK. And most importantly, one of our programs, the Biomedical Science degree program, has been ranked 8th in the full UK. Okay, so when you look at the university rankings, we may not be at the very top as a whole university. However, when we look at subject-specific rankings, really, biology is the second overall. All our programs are second in the Northwest, and particularly our biomedical science program is ranked 8th in the full UK, including the likes of the Oxfords, the likes of Cambridge, and all Russell Group universities. So really, you are getting an excellent degree by studying in our department, really. Okay, we also believe that we have a great campus, okay? So, and we do really, it's not only our opinion, this is the opinion of many people who visit our campus. It is a gorgeous campus with excellent facilities all around the campus, starting from accommodations to sports facilities, to department facilities, to buildings, car parks. But we also, I'm sure my colleagues here touched on the location of Edge Hill, obviously. We are not in a big city, however, we have direct links, very close direct links to other cities such as Liverpool and Manchester. So really, we have everything a student looks for a great student experience, studying in our campus, living there within reach to big universities and big cities as well. Okay. So what do? We deliver currently we deliver 7 programs. Okay. However, one of the programs is not going to start until 2026. So my focus today is going to be on the 6 programs that we are currently delivering. And these are the BSc Hons in Biology, the Biomedical Science program, the Ecology and Conservation and Plant Sciences programs, if you are more of, you like the green side of biology, obviously. We also have the program in biotechnology, which allows students to gain entry to industries and work experience in those industries as well. And we started recruiting for the biochemistry program, which will start next September, really. In 2026, the program that I was referring to is a great program that we have officially received approval to start delivering. And this is in collaboration with the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine, which is a prestigious research institution here in Liverpool. And obviously the recruitment has started, but the delivery wouldn't start until September 2026. So that would be a joint program between Edge Hill University and LSTM. Okay. So as you can see, because we deliver these variety of programs, we have experts in their fields that can teach across all these programs. Okay. We pride ourselves to have state-of-the-art facilities, and everyone can confirm this. Everyone who has visited Edge Hill University. Recently, I took Walid on a trip to our laboratories, and I believe he was well impressed.
I was definitely, yeah.
Yes, when seeing our facilities.
Maybe biased, but definitely impressed, yeah.
Yes, excellent. Thanks, Walid. So yes, so we do have 2 buildings, the Biosciences building, and most recently this year in 2025, we have now a new building that we know as the Life Sciences. It's a brand new building that has state-of-the-art facilities. These facilities include teaching facilities, of course, seminar rooms, computers, libraries, etc. But we also, and most importantly, we have research facilities that we believe they are world-class research facilities. So we do, for example, have dedicated laboratories, multiple laboratories for cell culture. This is for students who are more interested in working with human cells and tissue, histology labs, microbiology and immunology labs, molecular genetics labs, gene sequencing laboratories. We have the latest technologies when it comes to working with genes, DNA, gene sequencing. We have also microscopy room, or what we refer to it as the imaging center, which possess very high resolution microscopes, including the confocal microscopy, scanning electron microscopy, and the TEM, which are, if you know about them, they are very, very, very expensive and very advanced technologies when it comes to imaging very specific sort of like cellular mechanisms to a very, very precise scope, obviously. We also have insectaries. This is where some of my colleagues work on insects and on parasites. So we have dedicated facilities to these type of research. We also have a brand new chemistry laboratory in life sciences. and a plant science and ecology focused laboratories in our biosciences building as well. So in reality, there will be a community where every laboratory is around the place across two buildings, and you will be in touch with researchers all the time. They may not be doing your specific research, but they will be doing different research. So you will have sort of like a research environment that you will take part of, obviously, in our department. So how do we keep talking about improving your CV and making you employable? How do we do this? Okay, we talked about a great emphasis on the lab work. Okay, so we do deliver our lectures weekly for every single module, and every single lecture includes either a practical, a laboratory-based practical experiment or a field-based trip. Obviously, this is mainly for students who are interested in ecology or plant sciences and taking those programs particularly. So we do offer regular practical sessions. We do offer the opportunity for students to do research independently and work in small groups together, which will foster collaborative culture and obviously enhance their teamwork and skills. We allow the students to use equipments which we believe. I've been working in different institutions in the Northwest here, and I can categorically confirm that Edge Hill is one of the very few universities that offer the students the chance to work with very expensive, well-developed equipment independently with minimal support. So you will get your hands dirty, experiencing to work with these chemicals and those, particularly those facilities that we have in our department. Okay. We also teach the students, in addition to working in the lab and outside the lab, we also focus our efforts, particularly in year one, to teach the students about safety issues and ethical issues when it comes to working in the lab and outside the lab. Okay, we always encourage like workplace best practice, and we want our students to learn this as they start their degree, because we believe this will equip them with the necessary skills to hopefully get a good job and excel at their good job as well. So we talked about the lab skills. We also offer field trips as part of several modules, particularly for students who take the ecology and plant science programs, and these are free of charge. Okay, so there are trips to, for instance, to Edinburgh as part of the pathology module, which can be taken for biomeds as well, biologists for all programs. We also take students to international field trips, particularly the ecologists and plant scientists, and these include trips to the likes of Cyprus, to the likes of Spain, and these are completely free of charge because they are part of the modules that the students will get for us, okay, with us. For instance, in year one, we took the students last year to Scotland, all students together on a trip where we conducted a research experiment for a full week, and then the students presented it in a format of presentation, which was one of their assessments. So this hopefully gives you an idea of what we offer the students in terms of field trips as well as laboratory trips. In year two, for instance, we send some students to Tenerife as part of an animal, wildlife and conservation module. And the students tend to enjoy it. They tend to pick this module regularly because they want to go to Spain. And there are opportunities where the students go to Cyprus and to many other countries. And this would be, we do not, as a department and university, we do not charge for these. So everything will be free of charge. Okay. Excellent. In addition to this, if students decide to join us in an undergraduate program, they have the opportunity to study abroad as well. And we believe this is an opportunity that is we do well at, really. We are one of the few universities that offers several options for students to go and study abroad. This can either be done after finishing your year one, between year one and year two, and this can be either going abroad for 1 semester or for 2 semesters. And particularly for sandwich placements or for 1 full year abroad, the students tend to go abroad after year two, between year two and year three. And we send students regularly to places like Sweden, to places like New York, to places like Thessaly in Greece, Turin in Italy, where they can go and study 1 semester, and this will be mainly almost free of charge, okay, as part of their fees. So they will not be having to pay any fees when they go and study abroad for 1 semester. In previous years, We were not able to send international students. They were not qualifying for these study abroad opportunities. However, in the last 2-3 years, the UK government has updated their strategies and their policies, and international students now, they have the right and the opportunities to go and study abroad, similar to any home or European students as well. Okay. In addition to studying abroad, the students have the opportunity to learn languages, which I believe personally, coming from an international background, I think this is an excellent opportunity, obviously. So the students can take a module of a language module as a module, which is worth credit, or they can select it as an optional sort of like a thing or extracurricular activity that they can do in the afternoon, but they can carry doing this for 3 years. And I want you to imagine, for instance, if you start learning French or Spanish since year 1 for 3 years, you will have the basic knowledge of that language. And I believe this is a great opportunity that we offer as well in our university and our department. Okay. There is the option for students to pick a free elective module. So they take all modules in biology, but then if they are interested, for instance, to do business and management as well, to learn how to learn something about business or computer, they have the chance to select one small module from another department through what we call the free elective system. Okay. In addition to this, in our department, we also offer regularly, we offer summer internships in our department, and these are paid research jobs that we offer our students in the summer only for 6 weeks. For instance, we currently have summer internships advertised in our department, and they are only open to our students. This is where selected students will get the chance to work in the labs on a small research project and get paid for it as a job, really. Why do we do this? Because we believe that this enhances the students' chances or improves their chances of becoming more employable faster after they finish their degree, as this will allow them to build their CV and improve it further and further. Okay. Good. So I thought I'd give you a small overview of what a year looks like in our programs, particularly in year 1. So what do we do in year 1? We structure all our 6 current programs in the same way. So all students have the same range of modules to pick from. Why do we do this? It's a common year 1 for all programs. This is mainly done to allow the students some flexibility to make their choice after year 1. So let's say you start doing a biomedical science program, but then you don't really enjoy it. You don't really like the biomedical science modules, and then you decide to go into biotechnology program or into a plant science program. Because the structure of year 1 is identical for all students, this allows them to flexibly change, to have the flexibility to change programs after year 1. Okay, so briefly and straightly speaking, every module in year 1 is worth 20 credits. Okay, and for students to be able to pass from year 1 to year 2 and from year 2 to year 3, they will need 120 credits per year. Okay, I hope this makes it this is clear for everyone. So you will need 120 credits to pass from year 1 to year 2, another 120 credits from year 2 to year 3, and the final 120 credits, which will give you a total of 360 credits to be able to get a BSc, a bachelor's degree in one of these programs listed on my slides here. Okay. So depending on the program that you take, obviously for all programs, we have what we call as compulsory modules, which the students should take, and the optional modules where the students can pick any optional module they desire to do. For instance, in year 1, we have the modules that are highlighted in gray, as you can see. These are compulsory modules that all students across all programs will be taking, which we believe they cover all disciplines, the basics of all disciplines of all these programs. Okay, so for instance, introduction to cell biology, genetics and evolution, and biology in practice. These are the 3 compulsory modules that are worth 60 credits in total. Okay, and then what do the students need to do to get the other 60 credits? They will need to pick 3 other optional modules from the other 6 modules that you can see listed on this table here. For instance, students who like more biomedical science, they would pick obviously anatomy and physiology, they will pick the chemistry modules. And the students who are more interested in the green side of biology, they would pick biodiversity, ecology, and so on. Okay? Excuse me. So the students will pick 60 optional modules, or 60 credits, sorry. With the 60 compulsory modules, they will progress to year 2. And this is where, in year 2, the program will be completely tailored to the specific discipline that you pick. For instance, if you pick biomedical science, your program, the modules will be tailored to biomedical science. If you pick biochemistry, your modules will be more biochemistry related. Okay? Excellent. So how do we assess you? How do we assess the students? The students always like to ask about the exams and how do we, the marks and stuff like this. So part of the reason why we get really good scores in student satisfactions and student support is the fact that we offer our students a variety of assessment sort of like strategies. Okay, we believe that not all students like exams, not all of them like coursework, and every student has preferences in terms of how they will be assessed or how they like to be assessed. So what we do for every module that we deliver, we do have at least 2 types of assessments that are completely different. Okay, for instance, going back to introduction to cell biology, it consists of 2 assessments. Okay, one of them is an exam which contributes with 50% of the module mark, and the other one is a practical practice. This is where the students go and get their hands dirty. They do a practical experiment and they get asked questions about it. Genetics and evolution, for instance, is a coursework-based module. There is no exam in this module. The students will have to submit reports and case studies, and we believe this is like a complete different strategy compared to intro to cell biology. So by doing so, by using these different strategies, we believe that we allow all our students to achieve their potential in a fair way. Okay, excellent. As part of our, excuse me, as you can see on the pictures here, we also offer the chance of our students to be assessed based on presentations that they deliver. For instance, one of the assessments in the ecology module involves the students delivering a poster, and this is an actual, on the left-hand side bottom, you can see that our students delivering their posters, inviting their families, attending this event in a conference format, and we believe communication skills as well are extremely important, and we want you to gain those skills before you leave us with your degree. Excellent. So what happens after year 1? You achieve the 120 credits, and then you will go to year 2 and year 3. So what happens? You will be using more specialist equipment, you will be taking more specialist modules, and you will have a greater choice of modules that are really relevant to your program. Okay, and obviously, being a microbiologist, being a biomedical scientist, I'm going to talk about biomedical science briefly because this is the program that I teach on and I'm involved in significantly. Okay, so this is an example of, I'm not going to go through all the programs. I have selected biomedical science to go through briefly, to go its structure in year 2 and year 3. And this will be very similar to the other programs with different modules, obviously. Okay, so in year 2, as you can see, if you choose biomedical science, from the names of the modules, you could tell clearly that it is a biomedical science program. The modules in blue are compulsory and core modules. These are the modules that the students will have to take, including research methods in biology, techniques in biochemistry, and molecular genetics. And the students will have a pool of 5 optional modules to select 3 from. Okay, students can end up having a choice of immunology, for instance, intro to biotechnology, biochemistry and metabolism. This will, along with the compulsory modules, this will make up for the 120 credits. Okay. Now, what is different in year 3? In year 3, the only difference between year 1 and year 2 and year 3 is the fact that in year 3 there is one module that is worth 2 modules. Okay, we know it as the dissertation research project module that is worth 40 credits. Okay, so in year 3 you will be allocated a biomedical science research project to work on, and you will be asked to submit 4 types of assessments, and the final one being your thesis, your final dissertation at the end of the module. And this is the most important module across the degree because of its weighting and its importance, obviously. Okay, and this is where, by doing this module, you will gain all the necessary laboratory skills in biomedical science that will equip you well to get a good job in a laboratory in biomedical sciences. Okay. In addition to the research projects, pathology is also a compulsory module that the students will need to take, and it involves a trip to Edinburgh. So it's a really popular module that gets picked by all students as well. Okay, so the research project is worth 40 credits. Pathology is worth 20 credits. This gives you 60 credits. And then the students have, as you can see, a wide range of options where they can select 3 out of all those 9 modules. They can select medical microbiology, advanced tissue applications, clinical biochemistry, pharmacology, applications of genetics. If they are interested in analyzing big data, they can pick genomics and bioinformatics, where they work on DNA data, and many other modules as highlighted on this table. Okay. Excellent. So we talked about, we keep praising ourselves, but let's talk about some data. Okay. So we believe that we offer great programs, and this is illustrated in the data that I shared previously with you in terms of ranking of universities and programs, but also the employability data. Okay. Excuse me. At the end of the day, students want to gain the skills, but also want to have a good job. Okay. So 93% of our graduates are in employment or further studies, such as doing an MRS, master's, or PhD within 18 months after finishing their degree. So now I want you to think about this number. Have a moment to think about it. Out of 100 students, 93 of them get a job, a skilled job within 18 months, okay? Or they are in studies. 70% of them, of our graduates, 70 out of 100, they achieve very highly skilled employment, meaning that very well paid, at the top of the range, very skilled, very relevant employment to their programs. So I would advise our students, attendees in this room, to think about this data and reflect on it, obviously, because we believe that this is one of the best data that the Northwest universities have in terms of biomedical science and biology as well. Okay. Okay. After you graduate, students have the option to go and find a job, but also some of those 93% of students decide to stay with us and decide to do masters by research, a taught masters, which we know as the MSc, or they decide to do a PhD. Okay. How do we go about this? Students normally finish their degree, then they approach their tutors, some of their tutors, and they express their interest in doing a research degree. Okay, the supervisor would agree to supervise them, and then they will submit a proposal which will be marked and assessed. And upon acceptance, the students will normally submit a proposal in the summer. The deadline, I think, is in May or August. I would double check this with the university website. And then in September, they will get the acceptance, and in October, they will enter the lab, and they start 1 year if they want to do a master's, or 3 years if they want to do a PhD, strictly working in the laboratory independently under the supervision and the mentorship of an expert in the field of biomedical science or ecology or biotechnology or wherever discipline that you choose to work with. Okay, so it involves the students working independently for a period of 8 months, a minimum of 8 months if they want to do MRS. So the first 2 months will be training, then 8 months of proper lab work, and then 2 months of writing up, where they would need to write a 15,000 word thesis that they would need to submit at the end of their masters. For a PhD, obviously, it's very different. It's a long project, a minimum of 3 to 4 years. This is where the students will work in the labs for a minimum of 3 to 3.5 years, and they submit an 80,000 word thesis at the end of their PhD, obviously. Okay, and in our department, we cover all disciplines of biomedical sciences, ecology, and plant science. These include projects that are advertised in immunology, microbiology, cell and molecular biology, neurosciences, neurological diseases, rare skin diseases, pathology, biochemistry, and many, many other disciplines. So if you are really interested to do masters, you can just try to send an email to our department or to our international office, and you'll be surprised of how many projects we can offer you, and that you'll be spoiled of choice. Okay? Excellent. So that was it really from me. So I really wanted to give you an overview of what we deliver as a department at undergraduate level, but also at postgraduate level. But excuse me, I'm particularly keen to have questions from you and hopefully arrange a Q&A, sort of like a quick session where I can answer any questions you may have for me or for Walid or for my colleagues who are online as well. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Mohammed.
No
That
problem.
was truly informative, and I'm very excited about the faculty already, and I'm sure the students also share the same sentiments. Walid, would you go ahead and share some of the general entry requirements before we do the questions, so that we can allow the students to drop their questions more into the Q&A?
Yes, of course, Linda.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a problem. So thank you, Mo, for the extensive amount of information you've shared. To be honest, I've also learned some things myself, so that was really informative. So
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
again. Just in terms of entry requirements, first of all, I want to advise any kind of applicants who wants to submit their application to Edge Hill to first double check the country website. So as you go to the website, just click on Find My Country and you'll find specific entry requirements for your kind of country and the qualifications that you may hold. Any doubts or anything as such, you'll find all the informations on who to contact within the international office, and we'll be more than happy to help. But generally speaking, when we talk about an undergraduate degree, regardless of where you're from, you'll usually need a senior secondary school certificate, such as, for example, a WIAC, a KCSE, or any kind of similar qualification. Plus, you will need also kind of a post-school certificate. This can be a foundation year, for example. So with these two, you can get straight into year one. If you only have a senior secondary school certificate, such as a WIAC, for example, for Nigeria, then you can go into our foundation year instead. So we do offer an in-house foundation year that will get you into any of your chosen kind of biology, biotechnology, or any biosciences really degree, but you'll need to go first through that foundation year, which we offer in-house. And to be honest with you, that's quite a good foundation year compared to the ones that you may find outside of the university, because this one is delivered by our university, our tutors, our teachers, and you'll also get an introduction to one of your modules that you'll study on year one of your chosen degree. That makes sense. In terms of PG kind of entry or postgraduate entry, then there are two different type of postgraduate courses, as Mohammed was mentioning just earlier. So we have a taught masters. So for these ones, you only need a 2-2 bachelor degree in a relevant, let's say, in a relevant field or not, depending on the specific course. So this can be just a bachelor degree from any recognized university, whether it's in Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, or any other country within Africa or Middle East. We would accept that qualification as long as you meet the equivalent of a 2-2 bachelor degree. Most of the time needs to be in a relevant field. Now, when it comes to MRes and PhD, this is like kind of a slightly different approach to them. So if you're looking at entry into September 2025 intake, which means this September, then you need to know that the deadline for applications are this May. So the 31st of May would be the last date for you to submit an application. And as part of your application, you will need several things. So let me focus more about the MRes first. PhD is kind of similar because I refer to MRes as kind of a mini PhD. So you would expect MRes to be slightly less requirement heavy. But for the MRes, you would need a 1,000 word research proposal, in your chosen kind of research area. So in the example of biology and biosciences, as Mo mentioned, we have kind of a lot, so the department have kind of a lot of research ongoing or projects that will take place in the upcoming year that you can choose from. Is that correct, Mo? Yes. So you choose any of the projects available and you submit a proposal on how you would approach the project, what you will do, what kind of methods. But obviously, once you choose a project, you will kind of have a supervisor that will be assigned to you, and you can discuss what your proposal will look like and kind of go through the whole thing with the supervisor. So this is the first requirement. The second one will be for you to have, instead of having a 2-2 undergraduate degree, here we would require the equivalent of a 2-1 undergraduate degree in a relevant field, obviously, to get into the MRes course. In addition to these two requirements, you will need two references from, it can be, for example, an employer, it can be a teacher that you had, even like a sports coach, somebody who kind of were in touch with you in a professional setting, and that can be your reference as well. And then you will, oh, I know that these are a lot of requirements, but this is the last one. You will also need to meet the English requirements. So this can be usually met through an IELTS test. We do accept a lot of other tests and qualifications, but also kind of push IELTS as a test because this is the one that is widely accepted across the UK. You never know. Sometimes you apply for, let's say, Edge Hill University, but then change your mind. We hope not, but this is widely accepted across the UK. So you kind of have a security to have a recognized IELTS test. And we would require a 7 overall in your IELTS test to get into the MRes, if that makes sense. Now, if you want to look at specific entry requirements, as I said, please refer to the country page, or you can reach out to me or the international office, and we'll be happy to guide you through the whole process anyway. So this is for the entry requirements. Now, regarding the tuition fees are £17,000 per year, regardless whether it's an undergraduate or taught masters. When it comes to PhD and MRes, this is an £18,000 per year for the degree. However, so all our offer holders for their first year will receive an automatic scholarship of £3,000. So this will reduce the fees if it's undergraduate or taught masters to £14,000, and then if it's PhD or MRes to £15,000 instead. Right, so this is it from me. If you have any questions or things that I didn't cover that you want to hear about, just let me know and I'll be happy to expand. But I think this is maybe kind of the information that you need for now.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
if I may jump in just
Sure.
to thanks, Walid, for the excellent sort of like and accurate information about admissions. In terms of if the students want to do a research project and they are unsure about how to go about it and about which subject to do, there is no harm in contacting biology academics, researchers in the department. There is no harm in sending an email to Mo or to all of my colleagues, any of my colleagues, asking or expressing an interest in working with them and see what they suggest. Okay, so you can always email us at academics if you want to do research with us and see what we can do for you, what we can offer you in terms of project ideas and yeah, in our program. Thank you.
Thanks, Mo. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for that. I do have a few questions here, so let me just read them. Okay, so hello, great to know about biology and biosciences in Hedge Hill. I wish to know about the requirements for Nigerian BSc graduates. I also wish to know if I can still apply for this postgraduate program when I possess a BSc degree in a totally different area of discipline.
So am I okay to take on this one, Mo?
Yes, I can come after you.
Yeah, so basically yes, we would accept a BSc as I mentioned before, this is kind of the standard requirement to get into an MSc. Then in terms of entry requirements into a specific course or research degree, this is when it kind of varies depending on each applicant. So for example, if you do have a BSc in a different let's say, background, if you have a BSc in business and you want to jump into an MRes into biology or biosciences, that might not be possible just because an MRes program is kind of not research heavy, but we would require the student to have at least some basic knowledge on biology, biosciences, all this area to be able to actually carry on a research and have a clear idea on where they want to go with that research, if that makes sense. However, if just let me double check this information quite quickly, because I think for an MSc program, we only have just one taught masters in the biology department,
You are correct, Walid. Yeah, we do have one. Yeah.
which is the conservation management. So this is more for those who want to have a focus around ecology, environment conservation, and these kind of type of areas. So for this particular subject, we won't require any previous background or specific background. Like even if you come from, let's say, a business, computer science background, your application may still be considered and you can still get into the course. As long as you have a 2-2 bachelor degree and you meet the English requirement, which also to mention that doesn't always need a test, but that there are some qualifications that will enable you to meet that English requirement without passing an IELTS test. For example, if you're from Nigeria or Ghana and have a WIEC, then as long as you have an English grade C6 and can provide a letter of English proficiency from your university, there's no need to pass any English test, if that makes sense. If you're from Kenya, for example, a KCSE will be enough as long as you meet a grade B in English, plus a letter of proficiency. Hope that answers the question.
Yes, I believe so. Just as a follow-up, Walid, with regards to the WIEC,
Sure.
results, let's say a student actually does meet, maybe they had a C6 or a better grade. Is there a time frame to this that is not accepted? Let's say you have 10 years and beyond 10 years is not accepted.
Yes, that's a really good point, actually. So what we say is your WIEC qualification needs to be no older than 10 years. This is just to kind of follow some standards. For example, even if you have an IELTS and you pass your IELTS 5 years ago, that won't be accepted because it has a 2 years
Yeah.
eligibility.
Yeah.
So we have a 10 years cap. So we say if you obtained your WIEC less than 10 years ago, that will be sufficient. However, there's an exception to this. So where we say you need your WIEC, even if it's 10 years, more than 10 years old, you can submit a letter of English proficiency. So what this means, let's say you obtained your WIEC in 2009. Okay, that's more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
In this instance, we would require the applicant to demonstrate that they used English in a professional setting, which, for example, if they've attended university, they've attended a bachelor degree, we all know that since some African countries are English-speaking countries, in the example, once again, sorry if I'm taking only those 3 examples, but just
That's
those
okay.
are the ones that comes to mind. So Nigeria, Kenya, and Ghana, once again,
Yeah.
or South Africa, for example. So we know that their university degree is delivered in English and they graduate in English.
Yeah.
So they only need that letter of English proficiency submitted by provided by their universities to say, okay, this student passed their degree here and I can certify that they studied in English. This is just to go along with the WIEC. So we still accept it as a waiver, but we need an extra document which proves that they used English in a professional setting. Can be work as well.
Okay, I think that's great. All right. Okay, so there's another question here. Are there available scholarship opportunities for international applicants currently? So I think you did answer that. Would you want to go
Yes.
over?
No, just to brief reminder that there's a £3,000
Yeah.
automatic scholarship. Don't need to apply for it. It's
No need
going to
to
be
apply.
automatic just for the first year though.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so thank you for your presentation. I'm interested in pursuing a PhD in public health or epidemiology. Do you have a relevant MRes program I can get into as a pathway for my academic goal?
Okay, so that's a very, very, very interesting question. So yes, the answer to the candidate's question is yes, they can pursue a PhD in public health and or epidemiology. However, how we do, we don't have programs that have these title, obviously, because PhDs, we normally offer PhD in biology,
Yeah,
okay? Or PhD in
exactly.
biomedical science, or PhD in in biology overall, okay? So what they can do, if they are really interested to do a PhD or to do an MRS, and this is what we all did when I did my MRS and PhD, what you can do, you can just email the admission team, propose a project that you want to do, and then what they do, they will contact us. You can directly contact us as well. And then what we do, we will select the appropriate supervisor. We definitely have epidemiologists and people working in public health who will be more than happy to supervise a PhD project. So, however, the order of things, the process, how does it work for PhDs? Normally, the students take the initiative, they contact the departments, they say, I'm interested in doing a project in X, Y, or Z discipline. We will find the relevant supervisor for you. We will get you in touch with them. You will just initiate a discussion with them, maybe organize a meeting or exchange a few emails with them. And then if you like the idea of the project, then you can, of course, go ahead and apply. And then your application will be assessed centrally by colleagues in the international office, obviously, and the admission team. So your answer is yes. Yeah.
Okay, they just need to reach out to a supervisor and then they'll get the help that they need.
Yeah, correct.
Okay,
That's correct, Linda.
thank you. So there's another question. It looks like your PhD programs are not fully funded. Is this correct?
Yes, definitely. So that's this is not only at our university. There are no PhD funded programs. Obviously, there are scholarships or funded scholarships that are offered rarely here and there, and we do have some. And these are what we know as the Graduate Teaching Assistant Scheme. This is where it's the GTA. So we do have scholarships offered or bursaries to cover the PhD costs. But these are extremely competitive. Obviously, the applicants from international countries can apply to them. Rounds only open once a year. So this year, and not necessarily every year, sometimes there are 1 round per year, sometimes there are 2 rounds per year, 1 round per 3 years. So it depends on, for instance, this year we haven't recruited any GTAs, which are graduate teaching assistants. So what does this scheme involve? It involves participants or applicants doing their PhD for 3 years. This will be fully paid for. The students will also get a salary, stipend, we call them, around £1,000 to £1,200 per month. But they will be expected to take part in teaching activities, which will equal 15 hours, 6 hours of teaching and 9 hours of preparation time and marking per week. So they will not only be doing a PhD, as in going in the labs. So their 3.5 years of PhD project will involve them doing the PhD, but also working with us as a graduate teaching assistant. So my advice, if you are looking for only fully funded opportunities, keep regularly checking the Edge Hill University vacancies website. These get advertised normally around October, November time, and the second round around March, April time. So keep regularly checking. Once they open, we will then be more than happy to accept students from international background. Currently, we actually have 1 PhD student from India, another one from Pakistan, and we also have multiple international PhD students who are from Europe as well. So we do accept GTA applications from all around the world. So if you see it advertised, please do not hesitate to contact us. We will welcome your applications. And I hope this answers the question.
Yes, I believe that has been answered. So I do not have any more questions here, but please, if you do have any questions before we end this session, please quickly drop it before we go. But I think this has been very informative, very interactive, and personally I have learned a lot, and I think that Edge Hill is doing a lot for students, and the fact that you provide student support, your beautiful campus, it's really whetting our appetites, and I'm sure we should get a lot of students coming.
Yes, definitely.
In. Yeah. Okay.
Well, if any other questions come your way, please feel free to forward them to us via email,
Yes.
myself or Walid. Yeah.
Yes,
Sure. I think I've
absolutely.
just seen, sorry, I've just seen a question, I think, just drop in now saying about the
Yeah.
MRES program, if it's 1 year long. So
Mhm.
yeah, the MRES program is usually a 1 year long program. So as Mo was explaining earlier today, like it's an 8 months, was it lab based
Yeah.
or research based, then 2 months dissertation, and then 2 months prior teaching with it.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So basically, the students will enter the full duration. They will start from October to October.
Hmm.
And the first 2 months, they will get trained. They will get their ethical application submitted because they need to do research. They will need to get their ethical approval. So this will happen in the first month or two. They will receive approval and get their trained in the labs. And then they will start working in the lab. Normally, most of the time, most students start working after Christmas. And this will be like full days, 5 days a week, working in the labs until around July, August. And then by August, they go outside the lab and they start writing their dissertation, the thesis, which is a 15,000 word thesis, and then they will submit it in October. And that concludes the full MRS year.
Mm. Okay, great. Okay.
And also, just before we go,
Yeah.
sorry to add on, but just to
No,
mention
that's okay.
that I mentioned the fees earlier on, about £14,000, including the scholarship, and £15,000. Just to mention that these are not to be paid all up front. So it's kind of a scheme. So you need to pay a deposit as part of your application. So once you receive an unconditional offer and you definitely wants to join us, you'll first need to pay a deposit of £4,000. Then the remaining fees will usually be split into 3 equal installments across the year to allow you enough time to pay all your different fees instead of paying all at the same time. Just throwing this out there.
Yeah, that's very important. Thank you so much for that. I believe that has been a very great session. As we do not have any questions here, would like to thank everyone for joining this session, and thank you so much,
Thank you.
Dr. Mohammed, for your time, for taking time, to go through this extensively.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. And then thank you so much, Walid, as well, for taking
No
us
worries.
through, the requirements and then the fees and everything. So please do reach out if you're considering Edge Hill for any of the biology courses. And we'll be happy to assist you here at Steady Now. We are happy to assist you with your application and visa process. Everything is on us for free. And so please do reach out if you have any questions that you weren't able to ask. Please do reach out to us, and we're happy to assist you. So yeah, I'd like to say thank you to everyone once again. Happy Friday and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thanks,
then.
Lynn.